no idea what any of this means. It looks like this place gave the Black Ring a bloody nose. Best be careful ahead.
Careful now, that's a trap.
The spirit of a Black Ring defiler frantically drags something, or someone, backwards with both hands. He glances around for help as he retreats. Something beneath his heel clicks.
Help! Somebody douse the flame! Douse the floor!
A spectral arrow suddenly lodges itself between his eyes with a hollow thwack. His face turns slack and confused before he collapses backwards in a heap. The spirit of the defiler remains on his back, dead eyes staring into space. The arrow protrudes upwards from his forehead like a profane flower. Without even a whimper, the spirit is no more. The spirit of a Black Ring witch flails and writhes on the floor, engulfed by ghostly flames. An unseen force hauls her backwards, as if to bring her to safety. The faint sound of an arrow being loosed echoes through the hall. Whatever force has been dragging the witch abruptly stops. She goes limp. The flames consume her. The spirit of the witch remains unmoved on the floor. The spectral flames continue their dance macabre upon her form. The ghostly flames flicker out as the spirit vanishes.
Careful now, that's a trap. Careful now, that's a trap. Look out! I see a trap nearby. Look out! I see a trap nearby. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
What's this? I found something.
Before you is the spirit of a priestess, an orc priestess. She's an imposing warrior monk, but gripped with terror as she gazes upon something looming over her from across the hall. She staggers back a few steps. An echoing roar fills your ears, rushing water. The priestess turns to flee, but is suddenly blasted off her feet by an immense, unseen force. The spirit of the priestess twists and flails, now several feet off the ground. She claws upwards as if to reach some pocket of air. Kneeling before the altar is the spirit of another orc, a priest. He produces an ornate dagger and slices open the palm of his hand. Around him, the sound of rushing water grows.
Rogier, I am your servant to my last breath.
He daubs the altar with his spectral blood and bows. The roar of water intensifies. He is suddenly swept forward. His skull hits the altar with a crunch. The grim drip, drip, drip of floodwater and the bloated body at your feet make this place feel more like a defiled tomb than a temple. Nevertheless, you approach the altar. The spirit of the priest floats silently. His robes billow as an unseen current of water shunts him about. The grim drip, drip, drip of flood your vision clouds, and you open your eyes to a dark glade. Before you lies a bull, trapped beneath a fallen tree. It stares at you with malevolent eyes. As you watch, it transforms to a bear, claws digging into the earth as it struggles to dislodge the log. You blink, and it turns again. A gorilla now. It's vaulted back, pushing hard against the wood. After a few more minutes' struggle, it slumps to the ground, defeated, and its contemptuous eyes return to you.
Strength! Give me your vigor!
The grim drip your vision as you watch. After a few...
Strength! Give me your vigor!
The god shifts shape again, contorting into a snake. Grimacing, you reach out your hand, and Vrogir sinks his fangs deep into your palm. You feel his curse spreading throughout your body as your strength starts to ebb away. At the same time, the snake grows stronger and starts to pulse with a faint light. You drag your hand back before the very last of your vigor slips away, and you stand hunched over and gasping for breath. The gentle glow within Vrogir grows brighter until you struggle to look at him. The god bursts into yellow flame, searing its way through the log. Vrogir transforms again, standing before you in his true orcish form, before snorting in derision and walking away. The vision slowly fades, and you are back in the temple, the smell of damp death filling your nostrils. You see that a crude sun pictograph has been hacked into the altar's rock. The altar sits before you, defiantly silent. Ancient-looking lever stands before you. It's still damp from the recently receded floodwaters. Your closer scrutiny yields nothing further. It's just an old lever by the look of it. The lever groans in protest, but cannot resist you. It creaks back towards you. A deep rumble heralds the wall beyond sliding downwards, a hidden door.
Careful now, that's a trap. Careful now, that's a trap.
The spirit of another orc stands before you, but this one is formidably armored and extraordinarily angry.
Dogs, skulking vermin, cowards.
He hurls the warhammer away with a final yell before turning to you with a deep scowl, panting for breath that he no longer needs.
Godwoken, you're here. Did you kill the Black Ring runts who defiled Rogir's temple, who flooded this sacred temple rather than test me in battle? Only torture, dismemberment, no matter. Rogir's temple is restored. Those heretics cannot dull his might. This temple was a fortress. My traps made it untouchable, unpassable. That weasel, that sad old man, he responded not with strength, but with soggy cowardice, and made me look the fool. Face me, you milk-livered mouse! The world grew too civilized for us. No plunder, no glory, nothing to make our hearts quicken. My people left you your cities and farms and soft beds. They went far in search of a place where they could be alive. But I am a knight of Varogia. I stand vigil. I do not know what became of them.
The spirit of the night prowls the chamber, spoiling for a fight that isn't coming.
Careful now, that's a trap. Careful, I've spotted a trap. Careful, I've spotted a trap. Look out! I see a trap nearby. Look out! I see a trap nearby.
Loyal shall be rewarded.
The air is thick with heavy flakes of ash. The altar before you seems to radiate heat as you approach. There is a blinding flash, and you are surrounded by flame. It licks your skin, enveloping you, but does not burn. Looking up, you see Zor Stissa sitting on an ember throne, surrounded by faintly glowing stars. Her eyes are mocking and angry, but you can see that her scales are starting to flake and fall.
Weakling! You have wasted my time by coming here. My champion will ascend at the wellspring. No other can overcome trial by flame. There is no challenge, Godwoken. There is only flame. My chosen will overcome.
The lizard slams her fist against her throne, sending embers flying. One of the stars above her ignites. You flare, and you're enveloped in an inferno. The fire rips through you, scorching your flesh and burning your clothes. The vision fades, leaving only the blazing fire, a glowing sun emblem on the altar, and the echoing laughter of a malicious god. The air is thick with heavy flakes of ash. The altar before you see an emblem of the sun glows faintly on...
No idea what any of this means. This is not quite the safest place I've ever been.
We better find a way inside before it all goes up in smoke, and us with it.
The spirit before you drips sauce from his raggedly slit throat. Realizing that you can see him, he throws a wry smile in your direction.
Ah, Godwoken. You know how you relive bad exams in your nightmares? Good news, you get to relive them in death, too.
He rolls his neck, sauce gurgling and spouting from the deep gash. He laughs, and his laugh is a bitter one.
As I was facing the trials, I was killed by another Godwoken hopeful. He's long gone now, but I'm still here. I just can't stop thinking about it. That one answer, the one I couldn't get in time. Anan Fallon Reveil. Anan Fallon Reveil. What in the void comes next?
His face lights up, gratitude shining forth from it.
That's it. That's it.
He begins to fade from view, but as he disintegrates, he traces an esoteric sigil in the air between you and pushes forceful energy into you, restoring you.
You there! Prithee, goodly traveller, might I prevail upon you to answer a question? You see, I am on a mission most grave. I seek a sorcerer most foul, most reviled, most feared. Her name is
His pincers scissor wildly.
Scepter, the ineffable! Have you heard tell of this wicked beast on your travels? Why, I shall slay her with a single thrust of my sword-like claw. For mine is an ancient and noble order, bent on destroying that which would destroy. Scepter is a sorcerer, and I am a source hunter. Oh no. You spoke to her. Face to whatever you call the odd frontly part of your person. I regret to inform you, you haven't much longer to live then. Now that she has your scent, it won't be long until Scepter tracks you here and guts you like a minnow. You have my sympathy. The hunt continues. Imperio, away!
Part of the Divine Order's fleet by the look of it. Hellfire must have rained down on them.
It's surprising any of them made it ashore, looking at that.
Temple in the clouds. What holds this aloft?
Before you stands a shrine to Amadia, her solemn face carved of ancient stone. This statue of Amadia seems ancient. Moss blooms from cracks all over the stone, and tears of rain stream from her eyes. A hollow space marks the center of her creased brow. You feel a presence awaken within the stone. An ancient awareness reaches out to you, swirling through every cell of your body and every mote of your soul. Lightning flashes and thunder rumbles. Static electricity crackles all around you and dances over your body. Yet you feel no jolt or shock, and it fizzles out as soon as it touches your skin. Then the awareness recedes from you, ebbing back like a tide until you are left completely alone. Alone with your thoughts, alone with the blessing Amadia left you with. Before you stands a shrine to this statue. You remember that the statue of Amadia in the hollow marshes bled. But no words from you can rouse this. Whatever powers the gods once had has... The spirit of a Black Ring initiate stands before you. He seems to be smouldering. Spectral ash and smoke drift away from him. He sighs at his incinerated mortal remains.
Perhaps my sacrifice will be enough. Perhaps the God King will restore me to fight again.
The spirit puffs himself up.
The God King rewards daring. I thought I could capture this place alone while the others were occupied. There's more dangers here than I would have credited with. You are no comrade of mine, outsider. You can go see for yourself and die in the attempt.
If the spirit still had a complexion, he would no doubt turn pale at this point.
God-woken? No, wait, please! I'll tell you what I know. The Sentinels. They're no danger when they're moving. But as soon as they stop, that means they're about to attack. That's all I know, I swear! That's how they got me. I didn't realize I was in danger until it was too late.
The spirit vanishes in an instant. Lingering traces of ghostly smoke quickly dissipate after him.
Now to find out what effect that had. Now to find out what effect that had. some sentinels.
What's that amongst them? On top of the pillar?
Our defenses are breached. Must I kill you now? It would pain me. I am relieved. I greet you. I was Amadia's chosen champion.
She gasps and bows her head in deference.
Forgive me, please. I hold this boon. It is Amadia's. It should be yours.
A pair of gloves, beaten and worn, but clearly of the highest value, especially to a wizard.
I came to the council to learn to be divine. I'm not made to be pursued by evil. And that's what it means to be God-woken. Afterwards I roamed the island, as did all we fallen knights. But my worst fears came true when the Black Ring came. I fled here. I made sure the temple was defended and went to the altar. I prayed to Amadia for help, but she did not answer. I'm not ashamed to say that I hid. There is untold evil in the world, and it has reached the island. It seeks the God-woken who would be divine. I cannot bear it. Amadia's altar is at the highest point. Climb to the sky and you may find it. But be warned, Amadia rarely answers now. And when she does, she sounds unwell. May she speak to you with love.
She bows her head in deference and allows you to leave.
Our defenses are breached. Must I kill you now? It would pain me. You are not of the Black. I am.
She gasped.
Forgive me. I came to the council, but my words she did not answer. Go? There is no go. I belong here. I was God-woken, but for all the evil in the world, I would not be divine. I did not search the world for the others of our kind. My place is here. Yours is inside the mountain. Amadia's...
She bows her... A bird flits in the background as you approach the altar. Laying your hand on the weather-beaten stone, you feel a gentle heat. A sense of warmth and peace fills you. As you whisper your words, you feel the world around you melt away. You open your eyes to an old log house, a roaring fire, and a door ajar. Pushing the door open, you find a bedroom, comfortably furnished. In the middle of a bed, wrapped in blankets, is an old, shivering woman.
It is so good of you to come. I'm so proud of what you have accomplished, of the hero you are becoming. You will be at the well soon, but first I must ask you for help.
She leans forward, grey hair falling to frame her wrinkled face, and whispers.
I am so hungry. I need to feed. I need your sauce.
The woman takes you in her arms, pulling you close in a warm, soft embrace. You almost can't help relaxing as her warmth spreads through you. You're still breathing in her scent, the smell of home, when you feel her claws. They press into your back, tearing cloth, breaking skin, pushing deep into muscle. A gasp escapes your lips, and you sense it, her ferocious hunger as she starts to feed. You feel your source draining away, your energy sapping, your own hunger becoming unbearable. You push her away, staggering backwards, until you rest gasping against the door. The figure in the bed draws the curtains and smiles as she is bathed in moonlight. She turns back to you, her grey hair now streaked with gold. She gets out of the bed, walking towards you, but you feel your god pulling you back, pulling you away from her claws. The room fades, but Amadi's moon remains, now emblazoned on the altar before you. A bird flits in the background as you approach. A sense of warmth and peace. You reach out to Amadia, but all you can... Before you stands a shrine. This statue of Amadia seems ancient. With the grating sound of stone upon stone, the statue of Amadia moves to one side, revealing a secret room. Two black-ring wargs, heaving, stinking mounds of gristle and malice, play like puppies with a large crimson gem.
Now. No. Well, maybe.
Okay, maybe. No.
Yes. I'm hungry. Gonna find food.
Okay, yes.
Two tight-bound masses of hair and fang amble away in search of food. The gem feels both extremely hot and extremely cold, and yet sits comfortably in your hand. Within the crimson twinkle, and beyond the stars lies a strange and wondrous realm. The stars swirl and move, and form a face, the face of an imp.
Looky, looky, looky here! What's red and black and blue all over? Wrongly, 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 wrong! Your eye decides. Your eye! Now, looky, looky, looky here! If you have 3 eyes and take away 1, how many eyes are there? Last chance! How many eyes? Oh! Rightly, 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 right! Oh, very rightly, right! Come inside!
The face dissolves, and the stars begin to swirl. And so too does your head, as you are taken to...
A whole realm within a single gem.
Incredible.
The machine is manipulating time itself. I'm in a hurry here.
Love is not the answer. Answer search continues. Love is not... Love is not... From the size and shape of the spirit, you deduce that this is, or was, an imp. From its expression, you deduce that it's not very happy about being dead. You are Mirasaken the engineer. You keep the machine running and focused on its primary task. Just as your ancestors did, you await the answer to the great question: what is the universe? But the machine only knows what the universe is not. It searches for the right answer by eliminating the wrong ones. You expect the process to be complete soon. Any millennium now, in fact. But recently, you've been getting the impression that the machine, well, it just doesn't trust you. You are Mirasaken, the engineer. After long years of quiet work, the gem falls into the jaws of two great black ring wargs, who treat it as a toy. The machine suspects you of sabotage and responds in self-defense. You flee to the one place where you know you will be safe from the death fog and the rock fire. But before you can plan your rush to the core, where you'll apply the failsafe, a falling object hits you on the head. In a flash, you are dead. But still, your objective burns in your mind. Get to the great ball of light at the core of the machine and turn off its defenses. The imp spirit remains unhappy, and also quite dead. Order is not the answer. Answer search continues. An acorn is not the answer, but it may be close. Closer than a chicken at least. Answer search continues. A dream is not the answer. Answer search continues. Hostile threat detected. Executing operator extirpation in 3, 2... Extirpation aborted. Returning to primary task. On touching the glowing ball of light, text appears before your eyes. Threat de-escalated. Returning to primary task. Answer search running. Abnormal seismic activity threatened primary task operations. Operator sabotage suspected. To protect core functionality and data retention, first-level security measures were activated. Operator submitted override string. Large quadrupeds are playing with the framing device. The likelihood of quadrupeds having the capacity of play was calculated at 1 in 2. The likelihood of an operator lying about quadrupeds shaking the framing device was also calculated at 1 in 2. Operator's manner and language indicated hostility to the machine. Operator was identified as most likely primary threat. Extirpation was deemed the safest and most logical action. Threat de-escalated, returning to primary task. Answer search running. What is the universe? Answer not yet found. Search incomplete. Estimated search time, 358,910,227 years. Estimated search time, 358,910,227 years. Text appears before your answer not yet found. You reach out to touch the altar. Its cold surface a curious foil to the thrumming and clanging metal that surrounds you. Your vision clouds, your head swims, and when the fog clears, you are still standing in the Imp Temple. You look around in confusion. This doesn't seem right. There's a cough behind you. Turning, you see Zanteza. Not some allegorical figure, not some awe-inspiring god, just her. She's leaning against one of the struts on the platform, taking you in.
Moon! There's not much mirth to be had these days. But the gods turning to the creations they've abused to save them. What could be more hilarious than that? Well, I do have one idea.
She leans in, her eyes sparkling.
I have a proposition for you. I'll reveal if I'm telling the truth, but only if you disown your god.
Deep within, you can feel your god stirring, hissing like a snake.
Oh, make no mistake. I'm not asking you to support me at the wellspring, just not to be beholden to him. To think for yourself, to make choices that you think are right, not what some half-dead god demands. Nope. Your barnacle is stuck there. But you have the chance to go your own way, to make your own choices. I know what your god has asked you to do. The choices he's forced you to make. Was it right? Can you truly say it was worth it? Damned if I know, but that's the situation. You can walk away with my word, or reject your god and be sure.
Your god flies forth, grasping at Xantessa's neck, but his hands connect with nothing. He spins, confused and snarling. The imp's image shimmers, solid as any mirage, and fades to nothing, leaving only an echo of laughter and a bright moon shining down. The anger that you felt just a moment ago, the unchained rage of your god, turns to ice in your bones. You can feel rage becoming something verging on hate. The quiet inner voice that you have almost gotten used to is silenced, and you feel your god withdrawing, retreating, locking itself away somewhere you cannot reach.
Thank you! I haven't laughed like that in many centuries.
Her form melts away to smoke, leaving nothing but a platform bathed in light from a huge, bright moon. You reach out to touch the altar. Its cold surface, the altar sits there, a moon carved. A chicken is not the answer. Answer search continued. gem feels both extremely hot and extremely cold, and yet the stars swirl.
Looky, looky, looky here! What's red and black and blue?
Magisters. Not what they signed up for up there. Looks like those Black Ring made a lethal enemy.
You approach an undead, standing proud at the lip of a broken bridge. Understandably fearless of the fatal drop, she gazes into the lava sputtering below. Turning to you, she motions to the Black Ring corpses at her feet.
Good riddance to bad rubbish, eh? Only thing I like less than Black Ring are trolls. God-woken, are you? Easy. I see it on you like an aura. I see such things, for I am the Watcher. And I seek such things, for I am a seeker. The Meister!
She bats one skeletal hand in a truly derisive fashion. Her crackling laugh sounds like dry leaves whirling in the wind on an autumn night.
The Meister's ragtag band are but a pale imitation of the tradition they sought to revive. I am one of the original Seekers. We swore to be Knights of the Council, Guardians of Godwoken, and Defenders of Divinity. Together, we failed. But still, I try. Alone. Unless...
She sighs dramatically, exuding impatience.
The Knight of Duna has been cursed. Void runs through his veins where source once flowed. I am sworn to protect the Council and all within it. But that same oath renders me unable to lift a blade against him. Release the Knight's good spirit from his corrupted shell, Godwoken. Do this, and I will gift you with the last standard of the original Seekers. If you seek ascension, it could help you greatly in the trials along the way.
Silence greets your question. This silence lasts quite some time. Just when you are about to break it, she speaks.
That question is unbefitting of a Godwoken. Trust that when you offer your help to those in need, the help you receive will be what you need in turn. I ask again, will you aid me? Will you take down the corrupted Knight of Duna? Godwoken, it is your duty to aid me. Consider in your heart if you can truly ascend, while corruption eats at the heart of the Council. In life, I knew Duna's Knight well. He would hate to be like this. Believe me, you would be releasing him from torment. Please do so. Ah, God, the corrupted Knight of... Please!
I've spotted something. I found something. Statues coming to life.
A note flutters out of the waterlogged bicorn the minute you pick it up.
Oh, aye, it's my hat. Fran! Toss her over here if you don't mind. You're damn right I did. Just you wait till you hear what I call my beard. Fran, I missed you, so I did. Let's not part ways again, girl.
With great armoured fists, the Knight of Duna pounds his own helmet rhythmically. The helmet has buckled inwards in places. Rivulets of blood trickle from beneath the visor.
Come, hear my joke. What is it that I guard? Ha! Wrong. I got nothing. Do you hear me? Nothing! He showed me.
He leans forward. Glimpsed beneath the crumpled helmet is a mangled face and crazed, unblinking eyes.
It's all a joke. There's nothing to guard, only lies. You'll see for yourself once you're dead. I'll yield to none.
The knight's spirit is altogether more composed than his late corporeal form. His helmet rests in the crook of his arm, revealing an august, dwarven face, creased with worry.
A godwoken. I think death was the only remedy for what was done to me. But these fiends resurrect those they have use of. Please, consume my spirit. I don't want to come back. I don't want to be their slave. The Black Ring came and sacked the temple. The one that leads them, the sallow man. He cursed me. A curse of madness and terrible visions.
The spirit averts his gaze with a shiver.
I will not say it. It would be blasphemy to even utter the words. The sallow man is a trickster, a deviant. They must have been lies that he concocted. They must be! There's little I can do to help you. It's the altars that have that power. Bow to the altar of Duna, and to those of the others also. If you are worthy, they will show you the way. I was not worthy. I failed the gods twice over now. All I deserve is nothingness.
The spirit offers a stoic nod, accepting his fate.
Thank you. Look to the altars for guidance.
Carved onto the face of the altar is a dedication in honor of Duna, patron of the dwarves. Long may their mountain halls stand as a testament to him. Hard stone melts into cool water at your touch. Before you stretches a lake, or rather a mire. The waters are fetid and rotten, the air filled with choking miasma. Through the dense fog you hear a voice. Duna, god of dwarves, gasps, "Please, cleanse this place. Let me breathe." The miasma clears as the power of your blessing skips across the surface. You look down to see your face gazing back at you, reflected in now crystalline water. High above your reflection, the full moon stands vigil. You step back from the altar, the vision fading before you. As you leave, you notice a lunar rune has appeared, carved into the rock. Carved onto the face of the altar is a dedication in honor of Duna, patron of the dwarves.
Godwoken, you have succeeded where I could not. Please accept this with my thanks, and the thanks of all those I served alongside. The blessings of the original Seekers upon you.
She hands you a small yet heavy trinket, crafted of tarnished metal. Though cold, it feels comforting to the touch, like a worry stone or a familiar childhood toy.
You are a fitting one to attempt ascension, Godwoken. I am proud to have met you.
cave with a bare altar. Strange.
The altar before you seems relatively bare. There is no inscription to a god and no offering placed. All you can see is a smear of blood on its surface, and a hollow that seems to call for something. You have no further use for the altar. The spirit of a Magister priestess kneels on the ground, her hands tied behind her back. She flinches as the ghostly sound of tortured screams from nearby catches your ear, and hers. She steals a look upwards at the source of the screams, then looks away again with a shudder. Another ghostly scream intensifies, hitting a peak. Then abruptly ends. Panic washes over the Magister's spectral features. She's next. You suddenly feel pain, blinding, burning pain. Your screams have been reduced to hoarse whimpers. You're too weak to struggle against your chains anymore. An ugly, staccato voice rises above your whimpers, barking a command to someone. Dispose! You hear a wondrous sound, that of a merciful blade slicing downward through the air. The pain ends, and darkness envelops you. You behold a face you've seen before, in blackened glass. Soul sickness incarnate, the rotten flesh of the world's most shameful desires, an all-knowing affliction. This is the God King's pallid envoy, walking the world as the Sallow Man. You feel him in your head, scrabbling for purchase amongst your thoughts, looking for a way in, his madness and his anger and his hate banging on the door of your mind. Sallow points a long-nailed finger at Alexander's dead eye. Sickly waves of emotion wash from him. You feel like you've eaten a rock, but you think you recognize the feeling. It's love, or at least a form of love. Sallow thrusts his nail forward and skewers Alexander through the eye socket. He raises Alexander's head and looks him in the one remaining eye. Then, slowly and deliberately, Sallow begins to eat. An acid joy assaults your senses as the Sallow Man devours the memories of the Bishop Divine, the son of Lucian, the God-woken who shall never be divine. And you realize that Sallow is not a man, but the twisted remains of what was once an elf. Wordlessly, he exhales towards you, a great torrent of anger and rage. But something has changed. This new Sallow anger is more pure, more refined, more confident and sure, and more powerful. He makes it clear that the time for questions now is past. Sallow stares into your soul and shows his hand. You know that he has something that you seek, something important. Sallow gives you a long look. The tendrils of his mind snap about yours, but they do not probe. With difficulty, he summons the power of his speech.
Are you sworn? Swear to the God King, and I give you the key to the Academy, the key to the mountain.
He snarls, and the tendrils about your mind snap to you. You understand in a moment that you should be grateful that he doesn't take you now and torture you until you beg for death. He will only help a God-woken who swears to the God King. But for that person, he offers the keys to the Council of Seven. He leans towards you.
Swear you.
His cruel, scraping, booming laughter echoes inside your mind as he shows you images of your torture and ultimate death. Time to die.
God woken.
Hurts, doesn't it?
You feel his hate, his rage, his blinding thirst for blood, your blood. He reaches into your mind and fails. He has no power now. The power is all yours. He howls in pain and hate and rage and tries to push you away, but he cannot. So he closes his eyes and summons everything. A raging torrent of memories washes through you, so fast you can barely see an image before it's gone. An elven child, the moon, the sun, the void, the dirt, the death in the fog amongst the trees, and at the last, part of the key to the mountain, Ralik, Vrogir, and Zolstissa worshipping the sun. He leers at you. You feel his head. He howls, a raging, and at the last, suddenly, for the first time since you first saw his face, he shows you fear. The God King promised him immortality, but now...
No!
The bilious film reforms in the glass and becomes a knight in shining armor, sunshine glinting upon his helm, the light reflecting, masking his features. On seeing your face, he snaps the mirror shut. The bilious film A sickly haze forms upon the glass, then shimmers and becomes Fork-tongue, the brute. On seeing you, he raises an eyebrow.
Never trusted wordless. Tell Sallow which shall be done. The God King gets what the God King wants.
He raises a hand in salute and then vanishes as he folds the mirror away. Fork-tongue does not answer. You suspect he is otherwise occupied. The mirror is cloudy and dark. No discernible image forms in its black depths. The cloying miasma within the glass shimmers and a face comes into view. A well-dressed dwarven woman, peering closely at you. With a hiss, she closes the mirror and is gone. The spirit of the Magister Priestess struggles in an instant. The ghostly imprint of pain and suffering is no more.
Godwoken, such a pleasure. Did you miss me? Wait, don't answer that. Of course you did. My lord's given me another chance, such is his grace and wisdom. As for you, well, you're out of chances. How many have you had by now, I wonder? 2, 3, 100? It must all be a blur for you.
She peers at you through narrow eyes. Her next words do not pass her lips, yet pierce your ears as if she'd spoken them.
I will not fail him again. Open your eyes. War, slavery, disease, void, death, and the fall of a divine. Do you suppose these happy accidents? His work is all around you, and you can consider me...
She peers at you through narrow eyes. Her next words do not pass her...
his agent of death. Every time, Godwoken, why can't I just kill you? It doesn't matter. He'll fetch me like he always has. He won't deny me his glory, his presence, his scent. Has he not simply told you by now? Are you sure you're Godwoken? That head of yours is awfully empty for a wannabe divine. Shouldn't you be wise or something?
You muster as much energy as you can, yet the spirit remains whole. She cackles at every gesture you make and every limb you contort in your futile efforts.
He'll take me back, and I'll come for you again and again and again. You'll be mine yet, and then I'll be his only chosen, his blessed one. Hush! He's come. He is here. Take me, Lord. I am yours.
Look out! I see a trap nearby. Dwarf business. Might be of interest to Beast.
Holy coyote. The Black Ring's operating from right inside Justinia's court. Their spies been bending her ear, driving the strife. She ain't just working for her own gain, but for theirs. Shite. No idea. For all I know, she may not be in her right mind. Once the Black Ring's lies are swimming in your blood, you can't just squeeze them out. It's got to be. All it took were a few magic tricks for her to make Justinia's eyes all wide and wandering. But it'll take more than a little hocus-pocus to save Isbel once I wrap my hands round her stinking neck.
To reveal more unwholesome murk, as if the mirror is lying forgotten at the bottom of a well.
Careful, I've spotted a trap.
spirit of a paladin lies stretched upon a rack, all four limbs pulled tautly away from his torso. His right shoulder suddenly bulges and pops as his arm dislocates. His mouth gapes open as he screams. To your ears, it sounds like a distant echo from the other side of the valley. The paladin's spirit's screams continue. You can see a bulge at his hip as the joint starts to yield to the pull of the ropes.
yourself!
Maker.
Head northwards, mud puppet, before I do you for disobeying orders.
He thinks for a moment on this. Then a glint appears in his eye that makes you think he's smiling.
I felt such fear, such pain. Oh, to feel it again. It was delicious. Shame I shall not taste death again once my lord returns. What? No. No, you can't. I am to be reborn. I am his favorite. Get back. Get back, I command you.
The spirit turns to run, but he's already yours. He starts to fade as his power begins to flow into your veins.
No, you can't. I was promised eternity. Please. Please.
What's on your mind, darling?
The spirit of the Magister lunges at an unseen foe with her sword. The spirit spins around and levels her blade at yet another foe, you. But it's already too late. The priestess has cast her comrade's arm aside. She jabs her staff forward. It seems to connect with something unseen. A faint howl of pain catches your ear. A brief flash of confusion and fear. Then the spirit is no more.
Time is short, Godwoken. The council awaits.
Make haste to the Hall of Echoes. The sooner I find my brethren, the better. If they're even still alive.
He slings a quiver of arrows across his back and nods.
Eyes sharp. I won't lie. It's good to have company again. This island doesn't seem kind to stragglers. No!
Delorus kneels and rolls over the corpse of a Magister. He takes in his comrade's lifeless face for a moment, then bows his head.
Pierced. I'm sorry. Pierced. He was an old friend. He encouraged me to join the Magisters. And I talked him into coming to this island. This wouldn't have happened if it wasn't for me. I'm a Magister. Did you forget that?
Delorus closes Pierced's eyes with his palm before getting back on his feet. He looks at you with wounded anger.
It was a mistake to join you. I should be looking for my own kind by myself. Farewell.
They took the realm. They took it all.
An empty pedestal